Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I see we've already got some people in the chatter box. Hey, Tina, how are you? Lords. Cordelia, welcome, welcome. Kim, nice to see you guys. So, how's everybody doing? Um, I actually wasn't running around like a crazy lady. I actually was somewhat prepared for today's live. And we're going to be using a really cute sunflower bee kit today. I did link it in the description box. So if you guys want to play along with me, and if you're a Backstage Pass, just download it. You're ready to go. If you're not a Backstage Pass holder, here's a great time to become a Backstage Pass holder. And then you can download the kit as part of your membership. And your Backstage Pass is good for a year. And as you can see, what we've been doing over the last several weeks is we're using the kits. So that was one of my goals this year, is to do some of the lives using the kits, and give you guys more and more idea. So yeah, so we're going to be making a card today, which can be used for lots of occasions. I'm doing birthday cards, and we'll do maybe some just regular occasion spring cards. But yeah, I'm going to show you a couple techniques, and we'll get going here. Hey Jim, how you doing? Before I forget, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I know you don't know if it's going to be a good live, but it is, I promise you. So let's just get that out of the way before we even get started, and then we can transition. So we're going to be working with Distress inks and watercolor paper today. I've got some stencils. I've got an embossing folder. I've got some acetate. I've got all sorts of stuff we're going to be playing with today, so it should be a lot of fun. So let me go ahead and transition down, and we will get going. How does that sound? First of all, verify you guys. Can you see and hear me? I know I usually ask that before I get started, but if somebody can confirm that for me, that would be awesome. Awesome. All right, let's see if I can transition down here. All right. So guys, just confirm that you can see and hear me. I'd appreciate that. Hear and see. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you so much, Tina. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see. I've got a little bit of a mess going on here, but that's all right. I'm not going to let it bother me. Okay. So I don't do shaker cards. You guys know I don't do shaker cards. I want to say very often, but not at all. But I decided to actually put together a shaker card, and then when I was playing with it, all of my bees were crumbling up. So I ended up gluing them down, but I still think it turned out to be a really cute card. I popped it up, and I've got acetate here, and then inside I did a sentiment. So happy bee day. So I'm going to add this to my collection for birthday cards, but this is kind of the theme we're going to be working with today. I did go ahead and print out some of my paper, and hopefully you guys have checked that out, the link. So let me show you. I only printed out the paper I'm going to use, but the kit has a lot of great images. But this essentially is what we're going to be working with, is this bee paper, which is so vibrant. I printed it out, and it's just so pretty. I just absolutely love it, and it looks great against brown cardstock. So hopefully you guys love it too. I know I'm ready for spring, summer. We actually had a snow overnight and earlier today, so now we have white on the property. Crazy stuff here in Montana. Now, what I did for the inside of this here is I actually used there it is. I used an embossing folder, and this I got this from Momenta, I guess. I don't know. I think somebody, my mother-in-law, I think, gave this to me. But what I did, let me show you, because I've already done this. I sprayed it. It's heavy cardstock, and I sprayed it with antique linen and vintage photo. And what was nice about this is, you know, to be able to get the deep emboss, you want to have your paper a little bit wet. I actually sprayed the embossing folder, and I did both sides because I wanted to kind of see what it would look like. So this side is the impress and depress, right? I think that's what it's called. So this is where the little cones are sticking up, and these are inlaid. So if you want to, you know, have it a little bit more grungy, you can certainly just spray the paper on its own. But I sprayed the embossing folder, and then I ran it through my Big Shot. Another thing, if you don't have an embossing folder, this is one of Tim's stencils, and we're actually going to play with this also. And we're going to create the part that's going to be the inside. And then we're also going to use this die, and I did find the die, and I linked it in the description box. This is a really great die, and what I love about this die is, let me show you. It cuts out the frame separately than the actual back, so you can, you know, mix and match. So I had this as an inlay, and then, you know, the hole was on the paper. So I really like that feature of this die. The one that I linked up, I'm not sure if it does that or not, because I've had this die a long time. But I wanted to give you guys an option. I know sometimes you guys like to duplicate the card, so I wanted to give you that option. But this is what I used, and I love it because it kind of gives the octagon a shape, which I thought was perfect. It worked out great. So let me grab my paper, and we'll get going here. Now, let's see here. And I'm going to use heavy white cardstock. You can use watercolor paper as well. And if you don't have the embossing folder or the stencil, you could always use just a nice background as well. I think that a background like this would be perfect on the inside. Keep in mind, it's just the inside of the beehive is what I was going for. So, you know, find something that works for you. Don't necessarily have to go out and buy something. Just find what works for you. All right, so the kit that I'm playing with today is an oldie but goodie. And it's called Entomology. And it's the one with the bugs. And it's the Tim Holtz one. Entomology CMS 328 is what I'm playing with. And I'm playing specifically with the bee stamp. And in my first card, I ended up printing and cutting bees. But what we're going to do for my next card is we're going to actually create our own bees. And I already stamped some and colored them in, but I'll show you how I did that and how I actually colored these bees. And I still have to color the wings, but I'll tell you what colors I'm using in a minute here. But let's go ahead and work on our hive. All right, so let me just tape this down. And keep in mind, you're only using a little bit of it, so you don't need a lot, but I'm going to do the whole thing. Hey, Robin, how you doing? All right, let me put my glasses aside, and we will get going here. All right. I'm going to tape that down. And let's see, let's tape this down. All right, so the color I'm going to use is fossilized amber, which is right here. And I think you could probably use the oxide or the ink. Either one I think would be fine. I have the oxide, so that's what I'm using. And let's see here. I'm going to use this instead of my blending tool. This is, you know, those daubers. And this is what I'm going to use. So I'm just kind of adding the color here. I think I'm going to tape this down actually. Okay. Now this is, again, fossilized amber. If you want it a little grungier, you can add more color to it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to grunge it up in just a minute. But I just want to get at least my initial color on here. And keep in mind, I'm only going to use, you know, a little bit of it. So this is all I'm really going to use. But I went ahead and just got a big piece of paper. Maybe I'll cut a couple of them. We'll see what I can get out of this. All right. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It's not exactly even, which is what I wanted, so I'm fine with that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my my crayons out. You can use Vintage Photo or Walnut Stain. Let's see. We'll use Vintage Photo. And what you're going to do here is you're just going to get some marks, okay? You're just going to put some marks in your pine cones. You're not going to put them in every single one. I mean, you could do that, but I'm not going to. And then you're going to get some water and a paintbrush. Let's see here. Just adding a little bit of water, and then we're just going to move this just to create some brown grunge. Okay. And this, as you can see, it's just turning it a different color. Some are darker than others, depending on how much crayon you put on it, right? But this is a good way to add color. And I'm just kind of moving the color here so that way, you know, I can get some lighter parts. And keep in mind, like I said, we're not using this whole thing. But if you wanted to cut a couple of those holes, you know, then you can, of course. Let's do a few more. Now, if you sprayed right on this, of course, you know, we use the fossilized amber. That's going to react, and that's why I didn't want to spray right on it. I'm just pulling some water from the side here just to give the beehive some more color. Yeah, it's just a nice way to add more color and be a little bit, you know, contrite, you know, a little bit controlled, I guess is the better word. All right. pretty good. All right, and that's enough. So I'm gonna dry this. All right, now I kept the stencil on intentionally because what we're going to do is we're going to create a background. And you can do this with any background stamp. I'm using the one from the actual set. And I'm going to use my black soot archival ink. Hey, Melody. Thank you for the card, Melody. Melody sent me a really cute card here, guys. I love it when you guys use my techniques. So this is a card Melody sent me, and she did such a fantastic job. She actually must have used Photoshop or something to put her images together, because this isn't glued down. This is just one sheet. But what a great job. Didn't she do a good job? I love it. Good job, Melody. All right. So I've got my black soot archival ink. And let's see. Probably should have stuck this on my block to begin with. Let's see. Hopefully that's stuck down. This is a great stamp. I'm trying to make sure my stamp is not going to fall. All right, and I'm going to stamp just right in the middle. Didn't really give me the effect I was looking for. So let's try this again. Some of it did transfer. I'm trying to get these words inside of the pine cones. So let's try this again. You know, I think what I might do actually is I'll be able to push a little bit harder with it not being on the block. So let's try that. Again, it's just a background. Now I can really push down. I think this was a better choice. So I'm just massaging my stamp. That's what I feel like I'm doing here. Yeah, that's better. And then I'll clean this off afterwards. See, it's got all my yellow in my ink. But now you can see that I kind of have some words on the background, which is kind of a fun effect. Now what I can do is I can take my die and, well, actually I don't need to take my die. This is going to be the inside. But I can cut this down when I'm ready to use it. All right. So let's cut out our image here. I'm going to need to run this through my Big Shot. So let me go do that really quickly, and I'll be right back. you see it cut out 2 pieces. The stamp number, I think you're asking about this. It's the entomology stamp. So it's Tim Holtz Entomology. I didn't link it in the description box, but I will for sure. Let me get you the number, Julie. It's CMS 328 is the number on the stamp set. All right. So now that I have this, and I've already sized this down, so it's ready to go. And then I had already cut out a brown frame. At least I think I did. Yeah. So this is going to go here. But remember, this is going to be on the inside, so it'll make sense in a minute. Let's cut this down. And then we've got to add our acetate as well. All right. All right, so this is going to go right here. Ooh, I like that. Look how fantastic that looks. And you might have to pay attention to the corners here because this is actually, you know what, when we put the frame, it's going to cover it. So don't even worry about that. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Let's glue this down. Let me think. This is going to get glued down here. Sometimes I got to think about my process. I don't know about you guys, even though I've already made the card. So let's glue this down, right? Just put it right in the middle somewhere. And then this is going to go... This is going to go like right here somewhere. Let's move this down just a bit. All right, acetate. I have some here, and it's going to cover this. So let's cut a piece out. Doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, who's asking me? Frida. The dye is great, and what I like about these dyes, I've started using more of my what are these called? Where they have different sizes. I think another idea, see, this comes with smaller sizes as well. If you didn't want to do a big hexagon in the middle, you could easily, you know, do a few smaller ones. Maybe, you know, something like that. And then you can put stuff in the middle. I really like this one because you're able to get the framing as well. So it's a real fun dye. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I do like the shaped dyes, especially when they come in different sizes. Let's see what I can do here. Trying to just decide how much I need to cut off. I probably don't need to cut off very much. Nesting. Yes, that's the word. Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. The different sizes. All right, so let's cut off a little bit more. Now, who out there makes shaker cards? Like I said, I don't make very many. Um, I don't have a lot of beads and, sequins and all that kind of stuff. But the bees, hopefully, I mean, I'm thinking the reason these didn't shake very well is because they were too big. So I'm hoping the smaller bees will give me a little bit more shake. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. And I'm trying to think here how I want to do this. Trying to use up some of my double-sided tape here rather than my glue. So I've been on Netflix. I've been binge watching a show called Younger. Do any of you guys know it? It's really cute. It's about a lady that's 40, and she was in publishing before she got married and had her kid. And her kid's grown up and in college now, so she tried to get back in the workforce, and she was getting discriminated against because she had been out of the workforce for a while. So she's really young. She's 40, but she's cute, and she's passing as a 26-year-old, which, oh my goodness. But okay, it's the movies. And it's really cute. So I've been binge watching it. Bee sequences. Oh, how fun, Tina. That is really fun. All right, I am looking for my little poker here. Okay. Don't you love how you just misplace things? Right. You forget the acetate? Yeah. I can see that. All right. And this is a straight blade, a razor blade. I use it to clean up my media mat, but I couldn't find my poker tool, so I'm using it to pull up my double-sided tape, which it seems to be working. I've been watching The Blacklist. Is that good, Melody? What's that about? The Blacklist. I've seen it advertised. Okay. Okay, so now that I've got my double-sided tape, I'm going to go ahead and add my acetate. And there we go. Perfect. All right. Now, look at it glued. It glued crooked. That's okay. Oh, it glued crooked. I must have moved it. My thumbs hurt. That's okay. I think that'll still work. I ain't gonna sweat it. Okay. Next thing we need to do is this is gonna go on the outside. So let's do that, and then we'll work on our bees. So this is what I was saying about the edge. If you have some white here, this border covers it up nicely. So you can kind of see how it's starting to come together, right? What do you think? Good? All right, let's work on our bees. So I'm gonna just stamp a couple and color a couple, and then we'll work on these. I should have cut them out ahead of time, but I didn't. Yeah, Kim, you're right. The razor blades are great. I have a couple just right on my desk. Um, and I have a whole box of them actually, so it's nice. Okay, bee stamp. Here is my bee stamp. I did stamp on watercolor paper, smooth side. Your watercolor paper has a rough side and a smooth side. I stamped on the smooth side, and I'm stamping with black soot archival ink. Any type of watercolor ink will work, but make sure it's watercolor because we're gonna be using our water brush. Now I know that there is a dye for these bugs, but I'm stamping them pretty close together because I want to get as many as I can, and I'll be fussy cutting. So you get the idea, right? You just want to get basically watercolor archival ink, and then you're going to color them in with, again, you're going to go back to your fossilized amber for the bee part. So let's just do that. I should have grabbed a paper towel. Let me get one real quick. Okay. So, yeah, I was painting earlier. Let me just dry this real quick. Okay, so fossilized amber is what you're going to use for the bee body. The bee body. And here's what I found. When I sprayed the ink, it got too diluted for my personal preference. So I'm going to spray with my spritzer just for my water, and just to get a little bit of that sparkle if I can. And I'm just going to dip, I don't know if you can see that, I'm dipping into, let me spray where you can see. That might be a little too dark. Oh, you know why? Because I sprayed with the wrong color. I'm like, that wasn't that dark. Let's try that again. Let's try this again. Pay attention, Monica. I want to spritz with my antique linen is what I want to spritz with. You can use just regular water as well, but the distress spritzers work like water in my opinion. I'm just going to wet my brush, and then I'm going to grab the ink because I want the ink to be a little darker. And I'm just going to color in the top and the bottom part of the bee. A little bit more water. Okay, so top and bottom part. And you don't need a lot of water for this because you're just barely adding some color here. See, but it does a nice job, especially with the black soot. So let's stamp a few more so I don't waste my ink. And even if your stamp doesn't give you the perfect impression, as you can see, sometimes it's a little bit lighter. Keep in mind these are going to be inside as shakers, so it doesn't have to be perfect. In my humble opinion, you guys, if you need it to be perfect, make it perfect. I don't need it to be perfect. All right, that's good enough for me. And then let's cover this up. And then let's go ahead and just color our bees here. So we're just doing the body. Like I said, you don't need a lot. Maxie's coming in. Can you hear him snorting? Hey, Max. And even if we don't use all of these bees, we can save them, you know, for another card. Okay, perfect. And then we'll just clean this up real quick. Now, for the wings, I'm going to actually put this one aside and let it dry. For the wings, I'm going to use tumbled glass. All right. It's kind of a translucent blue, so it's a really great, color for the wings. You don't need a lot of water, guys. And you know what? You don't even need to stay in the lines if you don't want to. I mean, it's not hard to stay in the lines, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Don't sweat it. So, what do you guys think of this so far? Too much work? Would you rather cut out pre-printed bees? I mean, I kind of like these bees because they're a little bit smaller. Digital, of course, is more perfect, but sometimes I like the imperfection of the stamp. What do you guys think? And as you can see, I've got some of the blue outside of the lines. It's not that big of a deal. All right, let's see if we can get these done here since we've got our blue out, right? You don't like a lot of fussy cutting? Yeah, I get that. If you have the die that goes along with this, but to me that seems like it'd be more work because you'd have to, you know, it's one die for several bees. So you'd be running that through several times. To me that seems like a lot of work. Stamping Up bees. All right, yeah, any bee stamp would work for sure. Certainly not the first bee stamp when Tim brought his set out. There are lots of bee stamps out there that you could use for this. All right, so now we've got our bees colored. Pretty good, right? Let's go ahead and see if we can fussy cut some of these. We're probably not going to need a lot. Maybe 6. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go ahead and just cut a few here. I don't think we're going to need very many, to be honest. Don't like fussy with a lot of little pieces. Yeah, I get that. I think that's probably why I'm not a card shaker. Because, you know, you got those sequences or beads, or it's just, I don't know. It's not really my thing. But I think this will be good. I'll probably only put like 5 or 6 bees in my bee honeycomb. We're gonna add some walnut stain too here in a minute. So let's just cut out a few and then we'll see what we got. I think a bee theme is great because you could do, the happy bee day, um, be happy. I mean, there's a lot of little sentiments you can do with bees, right? So yeah, it's definitely a fun take. Yeah, Simon says stamp also has bees. Yeah, I'm sure everybody has bees. All right, I'm adding my walnut stain to the edge just to grunge it up a little bit because that's kind of what I do. I also have, I saw it here. I have Wink of Stella. Let's maybe add a little bit to the wings. It's hard to push with my thumbs. Let's see if I can get some of this out. We'll see if we can get some out. You might want my bees to feel claustrophobic. No, of course not. Plus, I want them to be able to move around. I think if you put too many bees, they're not going to shakety shake. Okay, so I think I saw, correct me guys if I'm wrong, that Tim had another live, was it yesterday, where he brought back some of his curations or something, I think is what I saw. Did anybody see that? Am I making that up? I think I saw something called like curations and they were old stamp sets. Was there a live on that? Curations. I've got to check it out. I've been trying not to spend all my time in my craft room. I kind of want to, I know this sounds crazy, but I kind of want to live a little bit. Does that make sense? When I was in Prescott, my husband said I spent a lot of time in my craft room, and I'm trying to be out. He calls it being present, So I'm trying to be more present with him. So I don't spend hours and hours in my craft room anymore. Does that make sense? All right, so let's see here. So we're going to add a few bees in here. There's 3. Let's do maybe one more. And I think these are a good size. Hopefully they won't get hung up and they'll actually shake. Repackaging of the stars and the stencils. Okay. Yeah. And it's, for me, you got to be careful, right? Because they're repackaging different items from different sets, which is nice, but then you might end up with duplicates of some of the things. So, you got to kind of be careful that if they start mixing and matching sets, you might, maybe they mix and match 2 or 3 sets together, but you might already have the stamps or the dies from one of the sets, and then you're going to end up with duplicates. So you just want to be careful, I think. So that's 4. Do you think 4 is enough or should I do 5? I'm going to put my foam tape. And what I found also with the foam tape, it needs to be a little bit high. So that's something I learned too. So let's see if we can kind of make this foam tape high. And then you also want to make sure that it's, you know, inside where you want it to be. So let's see. 5 bees? Okay. Yeah, I think I've got 4. So we can do one more. Okay, that's not gonna work. Let's just 1. Don't like that. Okay, so there's 2, and I'm trying to cut it right on the corner here. 3. 4. 5, and then 6. Okay. Ooh, running out. All right, now I'm going to double this. So let me get these off. Projects from the makers. Okay. That must be what he had planned, because he said that the makers weren't going to be doing demos anymore, but maybe, I guess these are his new releases, or just the re-releases, right? Because remember when he made the announcement that he's not going to be releasing new sets, but he said he did have a release this year. They must have been the re-releases, what he was talking about, which is a little disappointing. It would have been nice for his last, you know, his last release to have been new stuff, but it's got to do what's good for him, I guess. All right, so I'm going to pop this up a little bit higher because I want enough room for my bees to, you know, to move around. I want to give them breathing room. Okay, so, and I don't, three. So if you had thicker foam tape, you wouldn't have to double it up like this. So I think that if I made one of these, I would use the die to cut the foam so it popped everything up. Okay. Let's see. I don't want my bees to get stuck on any sticky part. So I'm trying to make sure that there isn't any sticky part showing. All right, so let's pull these off. See, these shaker cards are a lot of work, aren't they? But they're cute. I guess the real cute cards are the ones that take work and the ones that people love. Let me see if I can use this. It's not working. It hurts to pinch with my thumb. So I'm trying to avoid that. Okay, so there we go. So I need one more bee. As Kim said, we need 5, so we'll do 5. So I've been contemplating if I'm going to do Christmas in July or not. And last year when I did Christmas in July, we made several cards, right? And I had a little kit to go with it. Should we do just one bigger project? Or should we do several cards if I decide to do it? What do you guys prefer? Do you think it's funner to do, multiple cards, or just one bigger project? All right, so we've got, oh, you know what else I need to do? I need to put foam. Let's see. Yeah, I need to also put foam around the edge. So let's do that. See, there's a lot of foam going on here. All right. Okay. So Kim says she doesn't do Christmas. So no opinion there. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So there's one layer. And I think I'm probably going to need to do, well, maybe not. I said maybe I need to do 2 layers, but maybe I don't. All right. So let's make sure the bees are in the middle. And pulling off this foam tape backing. A lot of foam tape. Good thing I had a stash of foam tape. And let's see here. And then I'm just going to line it up. Now, the brown paper is bigger than the sunflower paper. So I'm trying to make sure I get the right amount of edge on all sides. And really pushing down on this because I don't want my bees to escape. What's the right amount of shake, right? See how they kind of stick together though? That's the part I don't like. See, they kind of pile up together. Not crazy about that. And I don't know why they do that. And this is where I get a little crazy when I start messing. So See, that's the part that makes me crazy. So I use, oh, there, they're loosening now. I don't know. Anyway, I guess if you shake it enough, they get loose. But that's what was bothering me about this one. That's why I ended up gluing them down. But I don't know. You guys get the idea, right? I don't like how they get all stuck together though. Makes me crazy. And then I start doing stuff like this. So, let's see. This is when I start messing and probably ruining things. But it makes me crazy. Okay, so I want my bees to disperse. I need to just leave them alone. All right. Anyway, that's okay. I'm not gonna mess with it. I kind of got them separated. But anyway, so there we go. Okay, so now that we got our bees in the middle, we've got our honeycomb, right? Now we can do our sentiment. So I have, in this one I put happy bee day, but on this one I think I'm gonna do be happy. So B E E, right? B E E. Yeah, Melody. I don't know why the bees tend to bunch up like that though. I mean, I doubled the foam tape, so it should be have enough lift. So I'm not gonna worry about it. So be happy. HA, right? PP, Y. Be happy. Here's a little song I wrote. Don't know if I'm staying. I know. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Ooh, 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 ooh. Come on, join in. Okay, that's all. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. You think, Suzanne, because I have two? Um, See, and I thought the opposite. I thought, but that's a good point. We'll test that theory on the next card. But okay, well, that's good to know. So if I do make more shakers with bees, I mean, I thought the higher it was, but you're saying that if it was lower, they wouldn't get under each other. All right. Okay. Interesting. HA. PP. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Ooh, 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 ooh. So little song. Worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. All right. Sorry if it says be happy. That song just comes in my mind. Okay, and then B. Stagger the letters. Yeah, I don't know, Melody. I kind of like them straight. I mean, I guess I could, right? Don't worry, be happy. All right. And you can use any letters, of course. I think the bigger the better because the paper is so busy. And darker, so black or brown works well. Okay, all right, be happy. All right, so there you go. And then if you wanted to, I mean, you could put, you know, a little sentiment. I'm not going to, but you could put a little sentiment there, I guess. And then this can go, you know, right onto a card base. But yeah, so there you go. All right, I want to test. Let me see where we're at with time. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? They looked cool before you glued them down. Be happy. All right, so where am I at with time? An hour. So maybe I kind of want to try who was it? Suzanne's theory about the foam tape. I mean, right now they're not they're not, you know, getting on to each other. So I don't want to shake it too much, but I really want to test her theory. So let's just test that really quick. So I have another one here, and we're just going to yeah, so we're just gonna do a quick one. I won't put the whole thing together with the letters, but I truly wanna test the theory. So let me. Do I even have? I might have to use. Maybe we'll use this instead. I don't have a brown one. So maybe we'll use this one. Yeah, why not? Okay. And then the acetate. Do I have another piece lying around here? Oh, yeah. Oh, I found another brown piece, you guys. So I kind of like the brown better. So yeah, I found some more brown cardstock. I think I like the brown better than the white. So let's stick with that. And then we're going to do this really quickly because I'm anxious to see. I'm anxious to test Suzanne's theory here that she thinks that it is the bees are getting underneath each other because the foam tape is doubled, and I thought by doubling the foam tape that would you know, give the bees more room to move around, but I don't know, maybe the tighter the area, right? All right, let's give it a try here. Okay, so there's that. And then put this here, right? I think I'm going to cut this a little bit. Okay, so how many people, we're going to do a vote here. How many people think that that Suzanne's theory about double foam is the issue for the bees piling up under each other? So yes, that you agree that that's the problem, or no, you don't think that's the problem. Just curious. I hope that's the problem. We're going to try it out here. All right, so there is my beehive, right? Let's put this brown here. Static? You think static? I've got some of that de-static stuff. Maybe I need to do that. Let's see. So I was looking for that little pouch that's the de-staticker, but I'm not finding it. So I don't know. Maybe static, but I don't have a de-staticker. I'm sure that's not doing it, but we're going to pretend that's de-staticking it. All right, so let's glue this sucker down. Okay. And then let's add our foam tape. Now I'm going to go thicker foam tape, but not as high. The texture of the hive is too high. You think? Maybe. But this one, Tina, didn't have any texture. This was flat. So I don't know if that theory is valid. Almost there. And all right. I mean, it's certainly a lot easier not having not having to double it up. That's for sure. All right, so we're gonna have to get our bees here in a minute. One. But the water for the paper is thick when they hit each other. Ah, the bee paper? Yeah, the bee paper definitely is watercolor, but the background was not. I mean, maybe, right? I mean, I don't know. My original thought was maybe they're not heavy enough. But I don't know. I'm not going to sweat it. Still a cute card. And I'm using up my stash. I haven't used foam tape in forever. All right. All right, so let's cut out some bees here. So we'll go with 5 again, right? Or maybe we should do 4. I don't know. 4 or 5. Not heavy enough. Yeah, that maybe, because beads and sequins typically, you know, are a little heavier, right? What I could do, maybe I'll do that, is glue a few bees. And then I do have some copper sequence. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So what I was saying is maybe, let me see here. When I was looking for my destaticker, I found some. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so when I was looking for my destaticker, I saw these. So maybe I glue them down and watch everybody try to shake them. Yeah, maybe I will glue down the bees just for the background, and then I'll use the actual little beads for the shaker. Everybody will go crazy. Why aren't the bees moving? Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. So, get my glue. See, maybe a couple more. I mean, you don't even need to make it into a shaker card if you didn't want to. I think using that bee paper, excuse me, and just maybe putting a bee sentiment, that would be kind of cute. I just like the idea. I like the shape of this octagon. So I thought, ooh, that kind of looks like, you know, a beehive, right? Thanks, Tina. Tina says, no matter, they're cute. Yeah, they are cute. Okay. Let's just do maybe that. Maybe move them up a little bit. Maybe that, 4. And then we'll do the little shakers inside. So let's see if we can maybe do that. We'll see. I hope this doesn't make a mess. Ah! Okay, that's enough. Behave. That's good. That's good. Yeah, there's a lot of little bee puns you can put on a card, right? Okay. And I don't know about you, but I am a sunflower lover. Love the sunflower. So my glue's coming. All right. So let's see if we can get this going here. Oh, you know what? I was going to do my Wink of Stella. Oh, that hurts. Oh. I don't even know if you can see this, but we're pretending. All right. The moment of truth. Do, 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 do. Let's see. Do this sideways so I can kind of see. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. Just trying to line this up. Oh, I think those bees needed to come down a little bit more. I need another bee right there. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I just felt like I needed one more bee. It probably really didn't matter, but I mean, you get it, right? You know how it is. I mean, I'm sure it was fine with 4 bees. But no, Monica has to have the extra one. Which probably doesn't even make a difference, but have to have it. Okay. This one will go just right here, I guess. Why not? Okay. Now I'm sure these little gems are going to get underneath the bees, but there we go. How's that? There's a shaker. There. So that one doesn't shake so much. I kind of want to put those little shakers in now. So what do you think? I mean, I guess I'll leave that like they are, but I kind of like, I don't know, I like the little shakers now. I kind of want to do little shakers. But I'm not gonna tear it apart. But I like the little shakers. Should I tear this apart and put my little shakers inside? Probably not, but I kind of want to. What do you guys think? Should I put little shakers in here or should I just leave it as it is? And this one doesn't even make any noise. This one has a little shaky noise. Oh. Should I take this one apart? I don't know. Should I? See, it's gonna. See, I say I'm not going to, but here I go. I just need to. Ain't no melody, right? Oh man. Why do we get obsessive? Should I lift this up? Why do we do that, y'all? Okay. So I kind of got to lift it all the way to the top because I'm going to glue down my bees. All right. I think that might work. Why, Monica? Why? Just the corner, I know, but I want to glue my bees down, Tina. I want to get my bees glued down. So I gotta, in order to get them glued down, you know, up there, I gotta lift up. I mean, I don't have to. I'm just being obsessive. And ordinarily I'm not. Usually I'm like, whatever. You knew I would. I know, right, Melody? Usually I just kind of go with it. I'm like, all right, that's cool. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I don't do very many shakers. And I was like, why aren't my bees shaking? I want my bees to shake. Maybe if I had more room also, because it is a tight spot. I concede that it is kind of a tight spot. So maybe there wasn't enough room for the bees to move. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we're going to rectify the situation. Beads. Yes, my little beads. Okay. Try not to make a complete mess here. Okay, now I can stick these down, right? Oh boy. Okay, let me make sure this is nice and secure. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, so there we go. There's my shaker. I got my bees in there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why the bees were getting clumped together. I mean, it could be that, the paper, once they kind of attach to themselves, they, they didn't want to move. I'm not really sure. I think if I had a bigger area, they probably wouldn't get all clumped together. But anyway, if you guys can figure it out, you're smarter than me. But this was my idea for my bee card. And I'm not going to put a sentiment on this one. We can, you guys can figure out sentiments. My idea was just to be able to show you using this sunflower and bee paper and, coloring the bees and putting them inside. What a cute little shaker card you could make. And these can be, spring cards. These can be birthday cards. All sorts of fun things. So I hope you guys like the technique. Like I said, you can do the background using, your stencil. You can use the embossing folder that I used. Or if you don't have that, just use some paper. I think, this paper here that I was sharing with you, I think would be fine for the background. So yeah, just a lot of fun. And I don't make very many shaker cards because I don't typically have beads. I was actually surprised to find those. But I was digging for the anti-static little pouch, and I found these beads, so it worked out. All right, y'all, that's all I got today. I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial. I hope I gave you some ideas for some fun spring cards, maybe birthday cards. And I hope you liked the technique where we colored the background, and then remember we used our crayon and then just kind of watercolored it to make it a little bit more grungy. And then we stamped it. Don't be afraid to stamp over your stencils. You might have to do some cleanup. Or it might stain. I don't care. Because it still works. But yeah, don't be afraid to try new techniques. Stamping over your stencils. Just be creative. Have fun. And that's all I've got for you. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And we will see you next time. Bye.